Hello guys, this is the third module dedicated to the Frugal Innovation as a paradigm to design for sustainability. We'll talk today about be humble, be responsible. Let's start with the question, when do you think that automatic doors have been created? Try to give a date. Depending on your knowledge, you should find a date. Let me give you the solution.
In other words, what priests of all these religions needed was magic, and that's just what Heron could provide. He described his magical device simply as machine number 37. We would call it automatic doors. The idea was simple but brilliant. As a priest and congregation approached their temple, the doors would magically open to welcome them inside. In front of the huge closed doors of the temple, the priest would theatrically step forward and light a fire on an altar by the doors. Beneath this altar, an amazing array of pipes, containers, and weights would then swing into play, unbeknown to the expectant congregation. Water flowed unseen into buckets that counterweighted the huge doors. Above ground, the priest might now make a final offering on the fire as the heat drove the hidden mechanism below. Then suddenly, as the counterweights filled, the doors slowly creaked open, as if the gods were pleased with the sacrifice. A fantastic finale was provided by the sounding of a fanfare as the mechanism blew compressed air through a trumpet. To Heron, it was simply mechanics, but to the congregation, it was...
Another question, when do you think that drink vending machine has been created? Let me give you the solution.
Of course, it was one thing to persuade people to come into your temple, but quite another to persuade them to part with their money. And money was the key to running a successful religion. How to get people to spend it and how to collect it were just two of the problems Heron also had answers for. This is the first, a holy water dispenser. It was the world's first coin-operated slot machine. As people entered the temples, they were required to wash their hands using holy water that had been blessed by the priests. Blessing and selling holy water was time-consuming for the priests, so Heron invented a machine that made their lives easier and was more efficient. When a worshiper placed a drachma coin in the top, out came a precisely measured cup full of expensive but holy water. For the worshippers, it once more looked like a miracle. In reality, the dropping of the coin caused a lever to fall, opening a valve to let out water. For those who could see the inside, it was simply another mechanical marvel. But for the eager audience, it was pure magic. In solving the priest's problem of dispensing holy water, Heron had invented the coin-operated vending machine 1,800 years before its modern equivalent was first patented.
Last question, when steam engine has been created? Try to find a date. An industrial revolution 2000 years ago. As the run of Alexandria, engineers created smart machines without computers. They just used their mind. So please, be humble in designing machines. Be humble because we are now in the third millennium and we have to face new challenges. In order to find a way, we have first to look at what happened in the last century. From the origins to now, we have passed through different eras. The first one, we can call it renewable era because we can consider what we had infinite resources according to the consumption modes. After the Second World War, we were in the disposable era. After the oil shock of the 70s, it was the beginning of the recycling era. But now, because of climate change and other types of crises, what kind of era would like? In order to give an answer, let's check the population growth. Years ago, we had on Earth only 900 million of people. But now, in 2022, we are almost 7.8 billion. The scientists expect that in the middle of the century we will be 9 billion and at the end of the century 11 billion. So what will be our future at the end of the century? Let's watch this video.
So this is man's future. To bask in the sunlight, bathe in the clear streams, and eat the fruits of the earth with all knowledge of work and hardship forgotten. Well, and why not?
Well, I'm not sure that our future will be like that. And if you don't want the future proposed in the movies Soylent Green or Black Mirror, we have to accept some limitations of our planet. Because we have limited resources on a finite planet, we have to deal with our consumption modes. That means we change the way to design and to consume things. We have to innovate in a frugal way. So let me give you the universe of thought. You can find there words that are in adequacy with your vision. Try to find them. If you want to be responsible, try to adapt the vision proposed by Professor Anil Kumar Gupta. Samvedana.
Samvedana. Sam means equal. Vedana means pain. When I feel your pain as intensely as you feel it, it does not remain your pain, it becomes my pain.
Okay, now based on this vision, try to be responsible for our future. Next module, number 4, source of inspiration for the Frugal Innovation.